You kept saying that, well, we condemn child marriage. Absolutely. And here, Ezekiel 16, verses 6 to 8, 1 Corinthians 7, chapter 7, verse 36, the Didache in chapter 2, as well as the Talmud. The reason why they say 12, if you read in context, and I'm going to challenge Daniel, give me the full quotation of Thomas Aquinas, unedited, because you're like your prophet, you like to edit and quote out of context. They're placing it at 12 because that's when they assume that a woman will reach puberty. And even then they say she has to wait a little time beyond 12. For example, here in the Talmud says not only 12, but sometime after that when her breasts are formed, because they took that as indication that she's now pubescent and that she's now knowledgeable enough to choose marriage or reject marriage. So even by their standards, you condemn Muhammad to hell, because according to that very standard, Muhammad mounted a 9-year-old. He was 54. So Christian and Jewish sources would condemn him as a pedophile who desired a 9-year-old, and he mounted her. And then your Quran in 65 verse 4 doesn't even have the age of 12 as the limit. So yes, I condemn it, which is why I condemn your prophet. And as far as violence, well, it's your Quran that says that you guys can beat your wives. So if you want to accuse me of that, more power to you. Lord Jesus, forgive me, I'm a sinner, because I was acting like Muhammad.
At one point, Sam, too, I want to add, just to point out,
you can
Roman, I'm not Catholic, and as a side note, I don't care what Thomas Aquinas says, but irregardless of all that, it's not even true in Catholic canon law that that's the age. It's 16 for a guy and it's 14 for a woman, which again presupposes that puberty has already happened.
Now, how much time we have?
2 minutes, 1:55.
Yeah, and now notice again, they just proved that Jesus is Allah, Muhammad's God, because their God, Allah, who is Jesus, he's the one who sanctioned what Moses did in Canaan, what Joshua did, and I gave them the sources. Now notice what they did. Oh yeah, it's just, an instruction to go ahead and carry out these expeditions generally, but where does it say that in the Quran? And here's my challenge to Daniel and Ijaz. Show me in your Quran the explicit condemnation, prohibition, explicit condemnation, prohibition of killing children, because I'll show you in your Quran where your own God destroyed women, children, cattle. For example, in the flood of Noah, because the Quran does confuse two floods, one at the time of Moses and Noah, and as well as Sodom and Gomorrah, where he pelted them with stones. Can you show me where your God discriminated and said, oh, okay, hey, stone, that's a baby, avoid him, that's cattle, avoid him, but that pagan right there, strike him on the head. Show it to me. And you're fully aware that your own hadiths mention where your prophet allowed women and children to be killed indiscriminately. That's even in your own hadith. But again, like you've been doing with the Bible, you've been butchering your Quran and your Sunnah. And I don't blame you, because if I was a Muslim, I'd have to resort to these tactics, because you can't defend a lie. Muhammad is dead and Jesus is alive. End of story.
30 seconds.
Well, all right. So that's it. Anytime they attack the morality, they just prove Muhammad is a false prophet. Their God, Allah, is a false God. And they are for other reasons. Because your prophet confirms the Bible. My Bible doesn't confirm Muhammad. And they keep forgetting Jesus is now the standard. And even though the Old Testament's not the standard, even the laws of the Old Testament are better than your prophet. And notice what he said about captives. The reason why she's taken captive, there was a war, but that shows you the humanity of the God of Moses. You don't take a captive woman and rape her like your prophet did.